Okay, meaning an incision, a cutting in the flesh, a graven image. That's what that chip is. But to us, that hold on to this patience. It's a thing of patience. In your patience possess you your souls, as it is written. To us that can hold on to that through the Spirit, we're going to be shielded from that, man. That's hope right there. That's the Lord said it, words in red. Read it from the top again.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Go to the second chapter, 10 verse.
Revelations 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Now, some brothers, some of us may be elected to not have to suffer that, but then there's the balance. Some of us may have to suffer. And keep in mind, it says some. It says those that can keep the patience, and to some that may have to suffer this. Don't fear it. We all ain't gonna have to get our head chopped off. It's a glory though. Keep in mind, the scripture says, first shall be last, last shall be first. Those that die shall be first and be outjudged. 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, 13th verse on down. But the reality of it is, some of us are gonna have to suffer. Okay, read it from the top.
Revelations chapter 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison,
The deceiver.
that ye may be tried.
Okay, try your faith, prison, concentration camps. That's simple. Detention centers.
And the word tried goes back to where it means test, basically.
And it's not talking about devil, once again, horn, figured, tail, pitchfork. It's talking about deceivers, banking families. We wicked them. We wicked them there. These guys. Okay? Like I was, slacking to the brother that may have mentioned it to me, but I was watching the movie Mirageddon, where basically it's a movie portraying how they're gonna strike down martial law upon the people once an EMP attack happens. You know, I guess it was funded by InfoWars, Skull and Bones, Alex Jones. You know,
he's part of that?
Yeah, I mean it's a decent flick.
He's controlled opposition, basically.
Yeah, he's a truther that's set up to not give you the full truth, but he's set up to basically be opposition to those that don't like what's going on to the so-called globalists. They won't call him the devil. They won't straight up call him the banking families, or they won't call him, okay, Satan. They won't call these people Edomites, these so-called truthers. They'll say it's the globalists. It's the globalists. It's the globalist agenda. It's the New World Order. It's further than that. Especially when they call themselves being Christian. They'll call themselves being Christian and being believers of Christ, but they'll call these other people globalists. They won't call them devils. They won't call them Edomites like the scripture calls them. You see? But to tie it back in, because that movie portrays what it's going to be like when that EMP, electromagnetic pulse, when there's no electricity, no nothing. It's a decent flick. You know, I ain't going to spoil it, even though the spoiler is the scriptures. But all in all, it shows you how the military is going to be told to declare martial law. I mean, so.
Sorry to cut you off, but there was this guy, I think his name was David Crowley, and he was making a video, a movie about, it was called Gray State. And yeah, when he started, I saw the trailer, and I think a few months after that, he died, his family.
He got killed.
I saw that, I was like, what is this?
Him and his wife and his child, his daughter, was found killed, found dead in his crib. So the movie couldn't go through a finished production and shit.
Now check this out. What's the fella's name?
David Crowley.
David Crowley?
Yeah.
David Crowley was able to try to put together a movie, Gray State, because I just see the trailer, I thought I was late, you know, come to find out, I guess it didn't even come up. But here it is, he tried to do the same thing that InfoWars did, but he died and this guy didn't. Red flags, you know? How is it that all these other truthers, you know, William Cooper and various other people come out with information against the government, but they died and this guy didn't? Shit, what's this fella's name? Julian Assange, even though he could be set up, but the guy that blew the whistle on the government NSA tracking the people and listening to the phone conversations.
Snowden?
Eric Stone?
Oh,
Snowden.
who the fuck is Union Sergeant?
That's another one.
That's another one. Oh, Slakia. Snowden. Yeah, and he had a movie about him.
Yeah.
Alright, Slakia. I'm just making sure I'm not getting too many people confused. But basically, Snowman, they got him on the run. He blew the whistle. But Alex Skull and Bones Jones, he stayed blowing the whistle.
Bill Hicks.
Yeah. Yo, a comedian. Yo, this guy tried to make it mockery.
That's him.
If you look up Bill Hicks, he's supposed to be a comedian in Texas that they say Alex Jones, that's his alter ego, that's him. But there's reports that Bill Hicks had died. And they're trying to say that if Alex, I looked at the video, he said that, yo, you people that keep on saying I'm Bill Hicks are disgusting. That man died and his family is grieving, but they look exactly alike. They got the same mannerisms and everything. It's just showing you that this shit is abominable, man. Because here it is, the truth will be right there, and instead of hide from it, they'll just take it and they'll just mock it in your face, like, all right. You think I'm Bill Hicks? Okay, what if I am Bill Hicks? Come on now, I'm not Bill Hicks. You see, that's that way. It's putting it in plain sight. I forget the Latin phrase for it, but basically it's like magic. Put it in the person's face and exactly.
Hey, that's what that movie Now You See Me was all about. I don't know if you've seen it. Now You See Me 1 and 2. It was all like you're saying, putting it in plain sight, so using science basically to try to do magic right in front of your eyes, make you think you see or didn't see something that you really did see. So that's how these devils work.
Yeah, I was actually reading something that says like they tell you the truth in a joking manner, and it's so sick that you don't think it's real, but that's actually what they do.
And that's what comedy is. Like, you know, like these stand-up comedians, they be spitting some real shit, but they say it in a funny way. But if you can actually, have a spiritual mind, spiritual eye to see what they're saying, it's straight real. The word comedy comes from the Latin comida, which means food. So that's where basically it's food for thought. You know what I mean? That's what they do.
Yeah, like the cover that they use is that things they do are so outrageous that when you say it, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like they can't possibly do that, and so they use that as a cover to keep doing those things. Like if you say they invented a gay bomb, nobody's really gonna believe that, but like that's something they did.
Exactly. Yep.
Like in Revelation 4:11.
Book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of these things, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Okay. Be thou faithful until death, and the Lord is going to give us a crown of life. Hebrews the 11th chapter. And once you got that, hold it, and then go back to the back.
Still wanted Romans 15 and 4.
Yeah, you can actually, you know what? Get hold Romans 15 and 4, hold Hebrews 11, and then once you get that, go to Romans 15 and 4, and then go to Maccabees. You see, because here it is, the script is letting you know some of us may have to die, go to sleep. That's all it really is. Everyone goes to heaven. All spirits go back to the Most High, Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. But what it's letting you know is if you have to die for the faith, don't be worried. You're going to get a crown of life. You see? Romans 15 and 4.
Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Short, sweet, and complete.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Alright? So we got to think about the things that was written aforetime, okay, for examples of what we're going to keep in our mind when we go through these trying times. Drop that and go back to the Maccabees.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse. Start from the top of it. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to it. Come on.
Yeah, the top of the account.
7 verse 1. Where I left over. Okay. 7 verse 1. And it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and caldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body.
The uttermost, okay, your appendages. It can be your arms, it can be your legs, it can be your fingers, it can be your rod. The uttermost parts.
And that's what they did. We're here in Americans too. They used to hang us and they cut our rods off or cut our feet off.
The same thing, man. That's how we know this devil is the same devil that he's been.
Same people. They call themselves Greek or Roman, they're still Edomites.
And they still hate Jacob, us.
Always have, always will. And the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
So they saw the first one speak. He exhorted his family to stay fast and hold firm, to die rather than transgress the laws of the Most High. And they saw him get his tongue cut out and his body ripped up. Okay, continue.
Now when he thus was maimed and all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in a pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, the Lord Yahweh our power looked upon us, and truth have comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witness to their faces declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants.
See, they motivated one another after they saw their fellow kinsmen, their family, their relative get put to death, suffer, okay, fried basically. They motivated one another like, nah, don't let that deter you. Don't let that deter you. Like you think of pep rallies, you think of different people getting ready for the game. They're like, nah, don't let that shake you up. Stay strong, hold fast, okay? Don't shake, don't fumble, don't fold, okay? Accept what's getting ready to happen.
So when the first was dead after this manner, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
So they done already ripped off the hair of his scalp. They done scalped him. And they're taunting him now. You see? Like when you, like the brother through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah did a beautiful sit down going into how that movie Saw is another way of them making mockery of the devices they're going to use on people. You see? And the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, when they have those detention centers set up, okay, them so-called concentration camps, the detention centers, the endearment camps, there's different reports of them all over. You know, when a brother in San Bernardino then showed how they got them on the trains, the FEMA, you know, joints, I forget the exact name that they have for them, or basically the contraptions that they're gonna use to transport the people from to and fro to get tortured. He then showed it literally on a video, a brother in the faith. It's not like some conspiracy person, this is a brother in the faith. Showed, look, this is in Cali, San Bernardino, they got this shit. It's already here, it's on the move. See? So they done tortured this man, made mockery of him, saying, all right, they done made that man suffer. Now, you want to stop the suffering? Here it is, you ain't never gonna look the same in your life. Your scalp you've been scalped. Your shit is gone. And now they're saying, all right, let's make it better. Eat this pork and it'll stop.
But he answered in his own language and said, La'ah,
La'ah, meaning no. Beautiful, you see? In his own language. La'ah. Fuck that shit, basically. Continue.
Wherefore, he also received the next torment in order as the former did.
Meaning, the same way how his brother got hit, he got hit along with his scalp being ripped. Continue.
And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
You see, unto everlasting life. This isn't considered the New Testament, but they know about the everlasting life that comes after death. Here it is, they thought upon the Most High, the Ancient of Days. They thought about a Redeemer that's going to come by that was prophesied in the days of old. Let it be known, even though they died, they're going to be raised up after that.
Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock. And when he was required, he put out his tongue. And that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his law I despised them, and from him I have hope to receive them again. After him was a third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and from his laws, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again.
So as far as him going through the suffering body parts he's losing, he's expecting to receive those again. But manfully though, he's not on some like knee shaking, he's girded it, like the scripture says, gird up thy loins like a man. He's prepared to further suffer.
That's the one thing. They said like basically he stuck out his tongue because you seen how his two brothers, basically got this tongue chopped out of their mouth. So he manfully stuck out his tongue like willingly, like saying, here, like take my tongue out. He put his hands out, cut my arms off, because you're gonna take these off me, but I'm gonna receive them again. Where in the afterlife, basically in the regeneration when I come back, I'm gonna get these back again. So that's what he was basically saying.
Verse 12. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains. Read it again. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pain. So him, like Esau, basically, try to equivalent to this time, you're gonna have some men that are gonna be in these concentration camps, men that are of the elect, men that are prophets, they're gonna be in these concentration camps. The Lord might put the spirit upon them to not be like, basically I say take it, you know what I mean? And these elites are gonna be so marvelous, so gonna be like so shocked at how manfully you taking this pain I'm giving you. Because I'm sure y'all seen, Saul, like the things that they were doing. You're gonna have men that the Lord gonna put the spirit, because they ain't gonna be of their own flesh, it's gonna be of the spirit that's gonna be on them, for them to actually take that pain and not really regard the pain that they're going through, because the fire, the spirit that the Lord is gonna raise up in them is gonna be so fiery that pain is gonna be nothing to them, But you gotta have that faith that the Lord is gonna do that, because you're gonna have some men that claim to be a part of this truth, some men that claim to love the Lord, and be actually out here teaching, and as soon as they get hauled up to the concentration camp, they take the chip. That's why the scripture says that many in that day are going to say, Lord, Lord, but what? He's going to say, I never knew you, because you're not going to do it to the end. So that's why you got to have it in your mind. You got to prepare yourself. Like, I know sometimes I be thinking about like me being in these situations of taking this pain, because you got to realize this is first of all, we're reading in history, and this is going to come to pass again. The Lord said that which has been shall be. And it's going to be even worse this time, because the things that Esau has now, he has all these things that he did back then, but he has even more stuff now.
So I'll say this right quick, just to add on to what the brother had mentioned. You're going to have people that's going to fold